This is the Alex Medina Law Podcast. Practical insights into the world of civil litigation.
Well, we've had some questions come in, one of them being, what are the best ways to convert clients as a lawyer?
Legal marketing is an interesting animal. There are a lot of people who have written a lot of books about the best ways to make rain. In the legal profession, it's called rainmaking. And I think the problem with a lot of those books, just like with a lot of business self-help books, is that they have formulas. They talk about having formulas. And the law business is a people business. And when a person or a business or a person on behalf of a business is hiring a lawyer, they're ultimately hiring individuals. Even if you work for a big firm, and when I used to work for a big firm, the firm has a name, and yes, that does carry some gravitas and some weight, and the reputation of the firm matters, but ultimately, a client is making the decision to hire a lawyer or a team of lawyers. They're individuals. So I think it's a mistake to just say, if you do this many marketing meetings and you go to this many things and you do this with your social media, that's the way for a lawyer to get clients. I just think it depends on the lawyer, depends on the particular lawyer's strengths and weaknesses, because I think one of the things that most people are really good at, whether they recognize it or not, is sniffing out inauthenticity, sniffing out fraud, sniffing out phonies. And I go to a lot of marketing things, and they drive me nuts. But they're also kind of funny when I step back, because you always know, business card guy. Hey, how you doing? Slapping hands. And, oftentimes it almost seems like the business card's in his hand as he's shaking your hand. He cares nothing about you or your business. He just wants to get his name out there. It's kind of a shotgun approach. If I, shoot as many cards out there, maybe I'll get a customer. And that stuff just feels gross to me. I don't like to market like that. So I really think that before you figure out what your marketing plan as a lawyer is, you need to think about what kind of lawyer you are and what kind of person you are. What are you good at? What are you not good at? If you're just not good at small talk, you can work on it. But until you're good at it, don't put yourself in a position where you're doing small talk all the time. Because if you're really not good at it, then you're wasting your time and nobody's going to hire you anyway. I think so. I really do think it's just kind of a combination. But I will say that one of the things that I found has been the most effective, and I will say that in litigation, most of the referrals come from other lawyers who don't do what you do. Because unlike something like estate planning, let's use that as an example. Everybody, if they're going to be financially responsible, at some point should get their estate plan. And most people, if they have a list of goals, it's get a will and trust on there, and at some point they're going to get to it. And it's something you can plan for. And I think there's even statistics to track that. As an estate planning lawyer, if you do certain type of marketing, you know that this certain segment of the population hasn't gotten their estate planning stuff done. They need to do it. There are other areas of the law that are more predictable. But litigation works in the fringes. That's not the right word, but litigation is one of those contingency events. You never know when something's going to happen. You never know when a business deal is going to go south and you're going to need to sue somebody. You never know when someone is going to accuse you of something and sue you. You never know when the car accident's going to happen and you're going to need to get a lawyer. You never know. You can't plan for litigation. It would be foolish to do so. And so oftentimes the need for a litigator arises at one of the most stressful points in a person's life. And usually it goes like this. Unless there's a lawyer in the family, or even if there is a lawyer in the family, something will happen and somebody needs a lawyer. And a person will turn to the people that they care about and trust the most and say, this is what happened. I need a good lawyer. Sometimes they'll call a lawyer. Sometimes if there's a litigation case, they'll call their family lawyer. They'll call their corporate lawyer. This is what's going on. And the lawyer will say, I don't know, but I know this person. And so I really think that it's very important for lawyers and litigators specifically to have frequent contact with other lawyers who do things different than they do, because it's a matter of being the first person on that lawyer's mind when that unpredictable situation arises where they get a request for referral. And I've had it happen on my end, where I'll just have had lunch with somebody who does something a little bit different than me, and it's uncanny how that happens. A day or two later, I'll get a call from somebody that says, I got your name from so-and-so, do you do X? And I'll say, no, I don't. But I just had lunch with a lawyer who does. Here's his information. It's really uncanny how that happens. And it's uncanny the other way, where I will have lunches with lawyers or coffee or whatever the meet and greet things where I'll see other lawyers. And it's like they're reminded, because there's a lot of lawyers, there's a lot of competition. And it's good to be seen. And I'll get calls 2 days later, 3 days later, sometimes the same day. I was just talking to so-and-so, whom I had just had lunch with, and they said, you do this type of litigation, and I'll set up a meeting. So I think lawyers should spend time with other lawyers who do things different. I think it's good to have a network of those lawyers, and being intentional about keeping in contact with those folks, because you want them to think of you first. But I also think, and I think this is different, I think that if you look at my website, if you look at the marketing that I've already done in my first year in my own practice after leaving big law, that I think that there is room for lawyers to brand themselves like other successful products. I feel like that my firm and my talented team has done a great job of creating a brand, of creating a law firm that is different, is the anti-big firm. I've got the big firm credentials, but I don't run my firm like a big firm. I've got all the experience and the know-how, but I really think that there's space to do things differently in legal marketing. I feel like a lot of the lawyer marketing is cookie cutter, it's cheesy, it's fake. You got accidentes and 1-888, whatever. You've got bus stops and buses and shopping carts and cheesy billboards and things like that. And so I think there's a way to market yourself. And it comes back to, what are you good at? What do you enjoy? And if you focus on letting other people know that, whether it be in person or social media or on your website or videos or things like these podcasts, I think that over time, the word will get out. And that's the idea. Build a brand of yourself as an excellent lawyer who has some personality and some creativity, so that when those questions come to family members, or you call your accountant and say, I've got this financial situation, I need a lawyer. They'll say, I've been hearing things about this lawyer. Seems really interesting. So I think really the idea is to get your name out there, and don't think of it as a formula, and don't be the cheesy guy that hands out your business card at every second.
Thanks for listening to the Alex Medina Law Podcast. Check back often for new episodes and follow along at alexmedinalaw.com.